it was rumoured on Friday afternoon by Keith Downey of Sky Sports that Barry Bannan could be leaving the club. Millwall, Stoke, Preston and 2 Scottish clubs are rumoured to be interested. At first, Matt, I thought it was lazy journalism. Then Joe Cran backed it up a little bit later on. So did Andy Giddins as well. I later heard from a few other sources that backed it up, in terms of they've heard similar. Now, Henrik's come out in the post-match presser, basically confirmed that there's interest in Barry Bannan, a player that has racked up over 450 games for Sheffield Wednesday in over a 10-year period. Before we get into it, I put a poll out yesterday which read, in your opinion, do you think Barry Bannan will leave in this January window? A whopping 78%, Matt, said no, they don't think he will be leaving this month.
Yeah, I sit within that camp as well. Not because I don't think that there isn't interest from clubs and maybe even from the players' side, but mainly because it's January. So there's a premium. You also have to add on the fact that he is still our most technically gifted player because he is still one of the division's highest chance creators through the first half of the season. All of that adds a premium to any price tag, no matter what the financial situation is at the football club that he's playing at.
Yeah, and he plays every single week for us as well, and probably one of our most important players when you look at the situation and stuff. I mean, Matt, we've kind of spoke at length, haven't we, about this already in the small time since it kind of got announced, and I think it's safe to say that we have differing views on on this one, so it could be quite interesting because I think we kind of agree on most things, if we're being honest. Matt, why now? Like, why, after sticking around in the summer, has he decided that this is the time to move on? Obviously, I want to stress that he hasn't said that, but Henrik has confirmed that Barry Bannan has actually spoke to him and said that there is interest in him. Now, if that was any other player or any other time or anything like that, if there is interest in you in the papers, I don't think the player then goes up to the manager and goes, "Hey, gaffer, like, these 3 clubs are interested in me." They just crack on and just ignore it. Like, that doesn't happen. And then the manager doesn't also come out and confirm that either. So yeah, why now? Middle of January, after, like I said, after staying in the summer when he could have left then.
Let's just say for a second that there is interest on the players' side, which we don't know is concrete that there is or even necessarily believe. It may just be agent talk, it may just be smoke screens by the clubs who are rumoured. But let's just shelve all of that for a second and say that there is interest. And this may be a very unpopular opinion of what I'm about to say, but it is my own personal opinion. If he were to leave now in January, for myself personally, it does taint it. And it does leave a sour taste in my mouth, more so than, say, for argument's sake, Danny Rill did. Does he deserve better? Yes. Should he be paid more? Yes. The whole premise of sticking around this year was that he couldn't look people in the eyes and felt a sense of responsibility. I think to coin a phrase that he and Liam Palmer used was "till the wheels fall off." Leaving quietly in January isn't a captain going down with the ship. It's jumping ship. And at the end of the season, I have no danger. Run as far as you can. Keep doing what you've been doing at this level for a decade, but please don't do it now.
I think for me, yeah, I get what you're saying there, but I think for me, yeah, like, you can say that in the summer, 6 months ago, however long it was when he signed his new deal. But when you're losing every single week, and it is proper shit, it must be. I mean, it's shit for us, and we only have to go to Hillsborough like once every 2 weeks to watch it. Like, they hadn't trained. Well, I don't know if they've trained now, but before the Brentford game, Henrik Pedersen said they'd not done any sort of training or intense training since before Christmas, the 23rd of December. Like the training ground must be terrible. I think for me, like, I don't think he thought it was going to be this bad when he decided to stay. Obviously, he said that it was his daughter were crying and things like that. I mean, that's the first thing. Like, children, they should be seen and not heard, is what my dad used to tell me when
I bet he's fucking saying that every single week after he walks in on a Saturday. Why do I fucking listen to you? You and your emotional heartstrings.
Yeah, like, but it just... For me, it just must be horrible, players leaving left, right and centre, players getting injured left, right and centre. I think, obviously he was close to Josh Windass as well. He's left and now, seemingly having a lovely time at Wrexham at the moment. Michael Smith, the same, he's at Preston. I think the other thing as well, which you have to count this, is he's on £7,000 a week, which, I mean, the way he was in the summer was horrible. The fact that he had a deal and we just didn't exercise that extension and then just renegotiated a new deal and then we could only offer him £7,000 a week, which, all right, I'd love to be on £7,000 a week, but when you're on...
It's not what he's worth.
When you're on 20, which is what he's supposedly on, and then I think... I've heard that, he feels like his ambition doesn't match some of the others and it feels like other players are just tossing it off. I mean, one of them, all right, he's injured at the moment, quote unquote. Ike Ugbo is our highest paid player. He earns over £20,000 a week, and I have had that confirmed as well. By the way, that is how much he earns, and he is the top earner at Sheffield Wednesday, and he's the highest paid Twitch streamer anyway at the moment. And that I think that all these stuff, when you add it all in, and he's playing week in, week out, and he's seen people that are just, he's injured again. It might be legit, but I just think for him, he probably wanted to stay. The money thing is he's probably lost what, £500,000. I would get over the course of the season, if he stays until the end of the season, probably lost about £500,000, which when you're 36 years old, it's a lot of money. Like, your numbers are, you haven't got many playing days left, have you, really, when you look at it? I mean, personally, I think he should have left in the summer. Like,
agreed.
Man on man, like taking me Sheffield Wednesday tinted glasses off, like, should have gone. I think that was a time where he could go, that's me done. So see you later. Thank you very much. I personally don't have any problems with him wanting to go at the moment. I know he said what he said, but I'm happy for him to leave. I mean, Matt, go
James, just to cut in there, James. Don't get me wrong. Please don't think that in regards to this, I'm not looking at it and thinking logically this is exactly what the fuck you do. The same way as, when he signed that new deal, I think me and you came on and we did a live reaction that evening and we were like, what the fuck is he playing at? Oh my God, I'm so grateful, blah, 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 blah. And I still am and forever will be. And it doesn't change my opinion on him that he is, pound for pound, for my money, he is the greatest Sheffield Wednesday legend ever. People can have your David Hurst, my childhood hero, Chris Waddle, your John Sheridans. You can have all of that. None of them did what this man did for us in the summer. None of them who were in the position that he was in when he played for us, I would argue, probably would have stayed to do what he did in League One, doing 2 seasons down there, when he was so far above the fucking level. I agree with all of that sentiment, and he does. Whenever he leaves, he will always be regarded as that for me personally. The problem is when you have got the level of importance that he does at this football club, and he is the symbol for what he means to this football club, which is, he is the only bastion of hope. That is it. This season, I don't care what people feel about the manager. I don't care what people like about individual players. He is the only player on the pitch that I go to watch week in, week out and think he might do something. Every other person, it's a bolt from the blue when they score goals. With him, he's the only player who I think, do you know what? If he unleashes one from 35 yards here, we might actually score. There is also... I liken him, and I know this is a lofty comparison here, James. I liken his importance at this football club to what Steven Gerrard was for Liverpool. Not talking about players, not talking about the level of technical ability or anything like that, not talking about trophies that they've won or anything like that. For me, Barry Bannan in the last 10 years is what Steven Gerrard was to Liverpool. Steven Gerrard knew he was leaving. Steven Gerrard came out in January and said, this will be my last season at Liverpool, and did a swan song tour. Still will get a deal. Now, I know Bannon is of a different age to Steven Gerrard when he left Liverpool. I'm aware of that. You are honestly telling me now that if in the summer Barry Bannan becomes a free agent, there aren't 10 championship clubs desperate to give him 20 grand a week on the contract of 2 years? I'll tell you bullshit, they are. Why? Because he is still in a competent team, and I am stressing it's a competent team. he is still one of the best operators in central midfield at this level. He is. No matter what any opposition fans wants to tell... Why do you think every single opposition fan fucking can't stand him? Why do you think when we play Derby, for argument's sake, all these seasons gone by, they fucking hate him? Why do you think them down the road still hate him? It's because they know that he is the only hope that this football club this season has of doing anything. Me personally, I look at the status of which he holds, and you've got to... It comes down to morality, and I know there is no morals in football, but when you are dealing with this type of a stature of a player, I just look at it and think, Baz, we all know how this was going to end, and I'm sure if he was honest, I know footballers are incredibly confident individuals, and I'm sure he would have at the start of the season backed himself and his teammates to at least make a decent fist of this. And I'm with you, James, it must be fucking horrible. Absolutely horrible going and doing that for 90 minutes every Saturday at a football club that you, by your own admission, love and adore, and that your family love and adore. I would also say to walk away from it now and then to have to come back to Hillsborough at the end, midway through the season when you've gone to a promotion chasing side. It doesn't necessarily... Because, you know, we're talking about Scottish sides, we're talking about Millwall and Preston. Irrespective of what you think about those, they're in the top 6 race.
Well, I hope he goes to Preston because we've played them twice. So he won't have to come back or won't have to see him wearing another coloured shirt, really, would we, to be fair? Matt, I mean, one of those teams I've just mentioned, Preston... By all accounts, it's rumoured that they've offered 400 grand in terms of a transfer fee. I mean, to contextualise this, we've already mentioned he's 36 years old. He's got 6 months left on his contract. Last season, he was in the top 1% for progressive passes, if you want to look at all the stats.
Yeah.
Top 10% for shot-creating actions as well, with just shy of 4 per game, which is primarily, for those that don't know, like a key pass, which is a pass which then results in a shot. Yeah. He's also in the top 10% in that metric consistently every single season, and then top 25% for expected assist goals, which is basically the XG of a shot from his pass, basically. So basically he creates a high chance of a shot. Matt, is that a fair price for Barry Bannan? Would you be accepting 400 grand?
No. He is. And again, James, this is why I think that he is such a unique player at this level. He is the championship version of Luka Modric. That's what he is. But he just plays for the shittest team in the league. That's the only difference. Let's say he goes to Preston, 400 grand. He plays 2 games a week for Preston. He doesn't play a 3-game week. He plays 2 games a week because they've got a competent midfield that's got them to 6th. They work him in. He automatically goes soaring back up to the top of all of those charts again in the division, and he's incredibly successful. He does the same for Millwall. He does the same for any other fucker outside of maybe Coventry and Middlesbrough, Middlesbrough were rumoured to be interested in him in the summer. 400 grand for my money, for the revenue that he is likely... He's still the most sold shirt in the club shop with the name printed on the back. He is still currently the only reason why lots of people will turn up. If you think about his last couple of games at Hillsborough, if you know he's leaving this summer, people will come to those games. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I don't care what the scoreline is. I don't care. Yeah. People will want to come and pay their respects to him. If
it comes out tomorrow that he's going, and Tuesday it will be his last game, it will be a sellout.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I would genuinely... I'm not going because I've got a meeting after work. I'd sack off my meeting and I'd go. I'd get there for the last 45 minutes because that is what, to me personally, he deserves that as an absolute bare minimum because I would want to see him walk off the pitch. My point is that 400 grand, may well be a fair price for a 36-year-old in the Championship. It may be. Not in the situation that we're in. Not in the nature of what he means, and also what he is likely to do for the side that he goes to. Is he a £20 million player? No. Has he ever been? No. Is he whatever? No, of course he's not. 400 grand is a derisory offer, in my personal belief, because even if Preston, let's say for argument's sake, he goes to Preston, likelihood Preston don't go up this year. He still plays from next year. He's still their biggest chance creator. He still makes them effectively a better team and weakens us. It's January. He's the best player at the club. He's a premium. He's still one of the best chance creators in the division. 400 grand is a piss take.
What are we saying then? Million? 2 million? Where's the limit?
2 million's gone because of the length of contract, James. But honestly, if you desperately want him, and we have got if we believe the reports, James, we've got a bidding war here. Start at 600 grand and go from there. Start at 600 grand and go from there.
Well, I've been told as well that he's asked Henrik to let him leave. Basically, that's what I've been told. He's said. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Not too sure. But everything that's coming out, the fact that Henrik said he's spoken to him, kind of adds a bit of weight to that. He probably didn't. He probably didn't. It wasn't just 2 minute conversation or a 10-second conversation. You go, Henrik, Preston's in for me. Cheers, lads. Yeah, and then off. Like, I'm sure it was a longer conversation than that. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, there's that element. I think someone said it in the comments as well. We can't hold him to ransom. You know, I know some people say he's contracted, he's got to play. Football's not like that anymore. Like, you know, how many times have we seen that the players hold all the cards, and if someone wants to go, then someone wants to go. I must admit, when I heard Henrik say what he said, it didn't give me any confidence to. If I was a betting man now, I know you said at the top like you don't think he's going to leave. Probably because sometimes I expect the worst. I think he's going, and it will be a crying shame. But and I suppose as well, like the season's done. Like it doesn't change our season. I mean, fucking hell, it makes it worse for these next 20 games. Jesus Christ!
Because that to me, James, is where it does fucking matter. That to me is where it does matter. And how do you? I suppose, and again, I'm fucking grateful that I'm not on the administrative team. How do you sell tickets? How? Well, you've just sold your best player. Why the fuck am I going to come? We're on a 20 game loot, like without a win, and you've just sold the best player, the only player who creates anything or has a chance of scoring. What the fuck are we doing? Like, and that's not because I'm trying to be like super negative. The right thing to do for the player is if he wants to go.
Yeah.
The problem is we are in a catch-22 situation where the offer isn't what it should be, and also how do you keep people coming through the door? Because, don't get me wrong, I'm excited to watch Jaden Heskey. I don't think he's going to all of a sudden catch fucking fire and we're going to create anything. Our midfield, without him, let's say for argument's sake, we all wake up tomorrow morning and he's gone. Our midfield on Tuesday against Birmingham City is Jaden Heskey and Jarvis Thornton. Cool. Who's going? Who is going?
Yeah. And then you've got Svante in the 10. Just running about like headless chicken. Like, I know. I'm just going to read some comments from. I put a tweet out and asking what people thought. Peter Gallagher said, absolutely gutted, a bit puzzled why now and not one of the other times he could have gone, but can't blame him. Joel Skellen says it's bollocks, he won't leave. Lambretta King says if he wanted to leave, he had offers before he signed his last contract and signed on less money. So in my opinion, I think he'll stay because he loves Sheffield Wednesday and he'll probably be the player coach after next season. Philip Peacock says it's football, players come and players go. It's a very short career and Barry Bannan has a family to think of. We are in League One next season and currently there are no promises or clues as to what the next season will bring. If he stays, then brilliant. If he goes, thank you for all you've done at Sheffield 6. Adam says, let him go. Maybe one day he'll come back and manage us. The club is on its arse and we need a clean slate from bottom to top. Is that what you think, Matt, in terms of, do you think we do need a bit of a clean slate? Because I've certainly said, and you know, it probably was an unpopular opinion when I said it, and I think it's born out of more curiosity more than anything else. I've said quite a few times, like I think we need to move on from Barry Bannan and stop relying on him far too much. Because the amount of times that I speak to other clubs and they say, "Oh, let's just stop Barry Bannan playing." Fans from other clubs that is, and they say, "Oh, if we can stop Barry Bannan, then we stop Sheffield Wednesday." And I think that has been true for quite some time for us. But I do think we perhaps do need to move on a little. If you look about next season, he's going to be a year older, or he will be, and then we're in League One. We still don't know what it's going to be like. If what happens, if what we've been talking about happens in terms of the new takeover, we're not expecting to come straight back out of League One. Like, so I don't know. I think there is an element of new owners, clean slate, start again. We need 13 players anyway. What's another one? Do you know what I mean?
I think, James, do I agree with you? Whether Baz is here or not, do we need a clean slate? Yeah, but again, it's top down with no funds to replace a player of this calibre. How does someone like, say, Kev Beadle, and no slot to replace them? We've been told you can bring in 2 players. We don't know whether that's going to change unless the EFL have given, absolute confirmation that you sell him, you can bring in somebody else. Ignore all of that. Let's go to the summer because, if he goes, he gives a fuck about the rest of the season. It's done. Say, for argument's sake, Kev Beadle has been told, I would imagine, since he's been at the club or whoever's been in recruitment, to actually go out and effectively recruit somebody to take over from him. Okay, he's pulled 1 or 2 of those players out the fire. George Byers and Fazaya Deli Bashiru all looked at some point like they could fill into that role. You then have to go to the managers in charge of those players at the time. They didn't integrate or facilitate a transition away from them effectively. No blame here lies with Barry Bannan. He has performed to a level which gives the manager a question to answer. Do you trust me more than those other players? Röhrl, Moore, Henrik Pedersen, all decided no. I agree with you. Do we need a clean slate? Yes, 100%. Do I think that Bannon can be part of that clean slate? Yes, because of what he represents to this football club, and his output is still very high. Do I think that we could move away from him? Yes, of course I do. But I think to now do that in January, you are properly killing off the second half of the season. And again, there's no blame that lies at the player here. Like, none whatsoever. I totally understand it. I know there's been a load of, for my money, ridiculous theories that, he wants to get himself back in the Scotland squad. He's been one of the best performing championship players for the last decade, and that's not done it. Why is it going to happen now with Scott McTominay and John McGinn running the show?
Just because he's gone to Preston or Millwall.
Billy Gilmore plays in there as well. Like, there's a raft of players, and this isn't me trying to be horrible to Baz. There's a raft of players who are well before him. So it's
not like he's had 100 caps for Scotland and they're going to take him for his experience either, is it?
No, not at all. And it's, again, he is, I said it right at the top of this argument, James. He, for me, is the most influential captain that I have seen at this football club, and I would liken him to a Steven Gerrard-like figure. I just think there's a way to do it. But again, do I think he'll leave? No. Would it surprise me? No, I don't think it would. But it then becomes harder, I think, to see any positivity this season. Because that moment away at Fratton Park this year when he wrapped the free kick in, that moment against Norwich at home where he scores from 35 yards out, those moments go and they disappear. And even the chance of that happening isn't there.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some people saying he's doing this to try and get a new deal. Now, I just want to, again, I don't know this for certain, but my understanding is the fact that we are still in administration, and obviously we're talking, I think we've still got to speak to the EFL whether we can extend Nathan Redmond's contract at the end of this month. So my understanding is that obviously he's on $7,000 a week because that's all we could offer him at the time because we were under all the embargoes. I think that's still the same because we are now in administration. We can't offer any more than that because, well, how wrong would that look? You owe all this money to all these creditors, and yet you're putting someone on a £30,000 a week contract. So he can't. Well, he might be able to at the end of the season, but he's doing that now in January. So I don't think he can get a new deal now on better money, unless new owners come in and it got sorted out really quickly. But they're not in yet, so why is he doing it now? So yeah, I just want to kind of put that to bed. My understanding is he's not doing it for a new contract because that is sometimes you put it out in the players get the agents to go start talking. It creates a bit of a fake frenzy, and then next minute, he's got a new 3-year deal for whatever money. But yeah, I don't think it is that. I think he is genuinely wanting to move on and things. I mean, he said that he wanted to end his career at Sheffield Wednesday. Like, do you think he's going to go back on his word on that one, Matt?
I mean, Stephen Fletcher wanted to end his career here, Kieran Lee, Sam Hutchinson. Things change in football. I don't think Baz will go back on his word, no. He may be forced to if he feels that actually, do you know what? I don't want another League One. I can see an iceberg ahead. There's too much of a job here. I don't have the... and this, again, surmising and speculating here. I don't know whether he wants that at 36, turning 37 in December. Does he want a fight of going down? Because if he stays with us, James, and we're in League One, he's man-marked 2 players every single fucking game. People are trying to snap him left, right and centre. Why? Because, again, he will be the best player in the division once again.
Well, we went down. So the 21-22 season was the season in League One. So what's that? When that, like 5 years ago now. So you were what? Just the wrong side of 30 at the time. Yep. He stayed because he wanted to get Sheffield Wednesday back into the Championship. Kind of 36-year-old Barry Bannan kind of single-handedly get us back into the Championship. The other thing as well, which I think is a massive factor, we're in administration at the moment. We don't know who the new owners are going to be. It might be James Board. That is the, he'll be the odds-on favourite at the moment because he's the preferred bidder, or that consortium is. But we don't know what plans they're going to have. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't even know if it's going to be better. I think the other thing, I've been in a situation, my previous 2 jobs that I've had, I hated it. Like, I got to the point where I didn't want to go to work. And if someone had said to me, just stay for 4 or 5 months and it'll be better. It'll be better next time. We're going to move to the... I'd be like, I can't see myself working tomorrow, let alone in 5 months' time. I'm going to get through this end of this week. So I do get it. The other thing as well, I don't think it's happened like just... It didn't happen on Friday. If you know what I mean. He didn't just wake up on Friday and go, you know what, fucking Wednesday's shit, I want to leave.
He just woke up and his eyes opened for the first time in 10 years and he went, whoa, fuck, this is bad.
He got text message, three text messages from Preston. I've got one from Millwall as well. Oh, look, I've got one from Stoke. I think it's been happening for a while. He's probably been unhappy for a while. Just want to bring this point as well. I don't know if you did the same. I'm sure people listening probably did as well. All eyes on Barry Bannan yesterday. I mean, I know you watch him anyway, but it was almost like, for me, I were on player cam. On Sky Sports, where they used to have that. And I don't know whether it is, what's that called now, where when you believe something or you've got a certain
perception
belief,
in it. It's perception.
How
he performed.
There's something where, for example, if you think Wednesday is shit, you're going to pick up on every single negative thing that happens, and all the positive things just get forgotten about because that doesn't fit your narrative. Yeah, and I don't know whether he's been like this for a while now. He does berate players as well, but I saw yesterday there was Murphy Cooper. It was just a goal kick. Or was it either a goal kick or he got the ball and Baz was in front of the north stand and he wanted it down that side. Cooper actually went to the left. He passed it to, I think it would be Fizer who was on that left. No, it would have been Yisser Alau, I think it would have been actually on the left. And he fucking went for him. He was giving him both barrels like, he's got to come this way. And I'm like, and then there were another couple of things. He did a shit pass and then he was telling someone else off. It was his fault that Baz had done a bad pass. And again, I don't know if he's like that all the time or whether it was just because I was watching him and knowing what we know from the day before, where I was like, definitely going. He's had enough. Do you know what I mean?
It's really difficult, isn't it, James? And I think for my money, just going back to your original point there, if it hasn't just woke up and thought this, I thought whilst the interview that he gave to the club, and I think he spoke about it to the Wednesday Week as well on their pod with him, it wasn't he stayed for footballing reasons. He stayed because of the emotional pull, which I think is as close as a telltale sign for a man who doesn't say an awful lot and very rarely gets interviewed, that for footballing reasons, he'd be playing elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that was dictated by the fact of he didn't actually sign a deal. Because that $7,000 deal, that wasn't... Again, I don't know. I can't imagine that wasn't on the table right at the start of the summer. Can't imagine that. I can't imagine that there wasn't a deal there, right? Because it was the Leicester game, wasn't it? It was 48 hours before the Leicester game. He was announced, signed, he'll be leading you into battle. Again, my money, James, is, and I said this at the time in the summer, I think he wanted to leave and I think he should have gone in the summer. And it would have saved all of this potentially difficult situation where it's, because he's not going to get the send-off that he deserves. He's not. He's going to become like all of those players that I mentioned before: Stephen Fletcher, Kieran Lee, Sam Hutchinson, Ati Nuhiu, Jack Hunt. He's just going to be wheeled out the back door and it'll just be a player that we talk about.
Yeah, I put that on Friday, actually. I said, if Barry Bannan is leaving in January, I do hope that it gets announced, not like he's gone, just kind of like he will be leaving, or he says something like, this will be my last game. I think he, it would just be fitting for us to be able to give him the last send off. The thing is, though, we've got Birmingham on Tuesday, then we're away. Wrexham is on the 31st, and then the window's shut after that point. So it's looking likely that unless something happens tomorrow, then it might. We might not know that it is going to be his last game. I must admit, I was shocked that he played on Saturday. I thought, again, being Mr. Negative, although I'm normally Mr. Positive, but thinking of the worst case scenario, I was like, if his name on that team sheet on Saturday come 1:45, he has 100%. He's not going to be here. But he played, so that did put my mind at rest a little bit. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Look,